So the reason of not finding a size or buying an improper size goes back to the retailer. So we always encourage retailers, instead of going to the exchange case, it's always better to have a proper fitting room. Now we'll move on to the electric and electronic devices. The supplier shall replace the equipment and devices when defective and difficult to repair. Again, if the instructions of use is applied. And same applies to lighting and appliances of all types, if defective and difficult to repair. And again, the same will apply on ventilation systems, ACs, heaters, and all type of similar products, if there is a defect or difficult to repair case. And again, the same will apply on phone devices, imaging tools, toys, when defective. Again, if you notice that there is similarity in the clauses, the reason for that is that we always encourage retailers to make sure that before selling the product it's not defective. So either you do it by testing or sampling, but as long as it's defective, then it has to be exchanged with a similar product with same features. Now we'll move into a very generic policy. It's about invoices and service provided. This applies on most of the sectors. The retailer shall issue an invoice to the consumer stating all details of purchased goods, price, quantity, and date, and buyer name. The warranty period, if stated on the invoice, because some stores, they have it as a separate document, this is fine. But some other retailers, they just mention it on the invoice. If it is stated on the invoice, the retailer or service provider shall determine the extent of the warranty coverage, as we mentioned before. You should mention exactly what does this warranty covers. If not, we'll take it that it covers everything. If the price of the product or service price remained unpaid, you have to mention it. Sometimes you pay 50% on purchase, and then among delivery you pay the rest, or vice versa. Then you have to mention it on the receipt, just to protect the retailer. This clause was mentioned to protect the retailers, because some consumers, they will always say that we already paid it. Just to protect yourself, it's better to mention what part was paid. And a retailer or service provider shall clarify the item sold. Each item should have its details separately. So if you bought 4 products, you should have the details, the quantity and the price of each product. In case there is an exchange, we will just impose it on one of those products rather than having complications. All purchases and exchange should be in the UAE currency. This was mentioned before. And a very important point, the service provider shall not add a service charge on the invoice, with the exception of activities licensed to provide alcohol beverages, which really targets most of the time restaurants. Only restaurants that are serving alcoholic beverages, since they have tax, this is the only reason that they're allowed to have service charge. Now we'll move on to the cash refund policy. As you noticed, we started the workshop sequentially. We start by the warranty and then the exchange. If you cannot fix it, then you have to change it. If you can't change it with the similar features, then the refund will come in place. The textile and garment and accessories, the retailer shall fully refund the money paid in the following cases. If the product defective and difficult to be repaired or replaced, if no suitable fitting room is available, leading the consumer to use a fitting room outside the store, in addition to unavailability of size, this is the example that we mentioned before, and the retailer shall establish a clear policy to regulate the sale process, taking into account to be printed in Arabic and in other foreign language. Any sales policy that you have, exchange or any other policy, we always advise the retailers to have it in a very visible place, either you put it behind the counter or in any visible place for your consumers, so they can read before purchasing the product. We'll move to the electronic and electrical devices. Again, if the product is defective and difficult to be repaired, as you noticed, it's flowing down sequentially, starting from fixing it and exchanging it down to the refund. If the product specifications are not conforming with specification agreed upon and it's difficult to be replaced. For example, I bought a product that will take time to be delivered. And we agreed on certain specification. Let's say an LCD TV with certain features. And what I got is not LCD TV. It might be even better than the HD TV. It might be the 3D TV or any other models. But the retailer, he insists on this TV that he wanted. Sometimes it's even a lower range TV. If you cannot provide him with the same TV and you cannot convince him in going into a better model with any other advantages that will give him either discounts or will give him the same product with the same price, for us, the sales is about an agreement between the retailer and the consumer. If you agreed on a certain product with certain features, you cannot provide this product, maybe it's out of stock, discontinued, you have to refund it back if you cannot replace it with a similar product. We always encourage retailers to check the stocks before buying and make sure that those products are available so you don't end up with this conclusion. And the third part is if the product turned to be defective and breaks down as a result of being unsuitable for the local environment or prevalent system of technology in the country and cannot be fixed as a result. We face this in some electronic devices, mobile phones and some computers that they just can't take the heat of the country and they don't fit this environment. They were imported. As we mentioned before, if they don't suit the environment, we don't encourage retailers to sell it in the country because in any case that happens, based on the laws, the consumer can always complain about it and he can it will go to his favor because at the end of the day you cannot sell something that does not suit the environment of the country. Those are our contacts. We'll always welcome you to send your comments and feedback to our email. You can call our Ahlan Dubai number if you have any suggestions and complaints. And you see our fax number here. And now we will move to the panel. If I welcome Mr. Abdullah Al-Shahi, the Director of Commercial Compliance, Mr. Adil Hello, the Head of Consumer Protection. And we'll take all of your questions now. And if we don't have enough time, you can always email us your questions.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Firstly, thanks a lot for a very detailed session on the consumer protection right.
Excuse me, we cannot see you. Can you raise your hand, please? Yes. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning to you. A general observation is that, alhamdulillah, in Dubai, the law is taking a good shape, but the stores which are having multi-outlets in other Emirates as well. So what we have observed that the application or the approach which is applied in Dubai is somewhat different in Abu Dhabi or Sharjah or something like that. So what I'm recommending here is perhaps the department can coordinate with the authorities in other Emirates and come to a common approach. Secondly, my question was defining a code of ethics for the consumer as well. Sometimes we feel that the customer comes into shops and they create a scene. So would there be any definitions for that?
First of all, we thank you on your question. We already started communicating with other government bodies and the Ministry of Economy. And the good thing that we saw is that some of the chain of stores similar to what you have started taking those policies and implementing them as internal policies for their shop, which helped them a lot in the other Emirates. But on the other hand, we already started communicating and sharing our experiences with other Emirates. Going back to your second question, as you saw last year, we had two campaigns, one that we concentrated on retailers and the other on the consumer. What we'll tell you is that this year we will have even more concentration on consumers. Our target is to increase the awareness among both parties, and we understand sometimes in some cases that consumers sometimes, as you say, make a scene or try to take advantage of such policies, but make sure that in DED we always try to analyze the case from both sides to ensure that there's justice in the treatment.
Thanks a lot.
Any more questions?
Assalamu alaikum. I have a question. Is it a must that the retailer should refund for the consumer at any case? Or does the consumer have the right to have the refund if he asks for? Because some cases happen in our stores that some consumers from the DED came and we don't have a refund policy at our company, so they pushed us at some cost just to do the refund.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Actually, that's why we advise the retailer to be there as a policy for refund and exchange. The law, it was very clear in this point. If the retailer, they cannot fix the items if there is defect or something, the law, as I said, is very clear. You have to refund the money back for the consumer. We are not put a point here, from our mind or something like that. We go through the law, actually, the consumer law. That's why it was very clear. First of all, you have to repair it or exchange it or refund the money back. Thank you.
But even it's under the conditions which are under good conditions. Nothing defected and nothing nothing bad about the item.
No. This is an option for this is an option the retailer they put it actually. But if there is no defect, nothing wrong with the goods, the consumer, they don't have a right to return it just if he changed his mind actually.
That's fair enough. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for sharing the detailed policies on the warranties. Will these be uploaded on your website, or will you be circulating the detailed policies that you have shared with us today, or is it still in the formative stage currently?
What you saw today is a draft. We will take your comments to develop even this draft to having a better draft, and after it gets approved, then it will be printed and be uploaded on our website. But we're waiting for your feedback so we can have a better policy.
Assalamu alaikum. I have a question regarding the refunds. At times we have issues that we can't do the repair, we approve a refund, but we're having some issues at point of store because customers pay one way and they demand a refund in a different way. And we have a policy that we've set that remuneration is in the same form as payment. So there is an issue. A customer pays by credit card, then they demand a cash refund.
Okay. If you can just repeat the questions, please.
The point is, when the customer is getting a refund, we've allowed for the refund because maybe there was a defect we couldn't fix to their satisfaction. But when they show up to the store, instead of wanting a credit card refund as they paid, they're demanding cash refund. And for us as a store, cash is going in and out. Maybe the cash isn't there, but also they should be getting it in the same way that they paid, is what we've said as our policy.
See, for us, as long as you return the money, you have we don't go into the detail. He purchased through credit card. It's your right to return it through the credit card or cash by cash. We don't go into this detail. He's getting his money back